Here's the deal. The New Order Nation, a powerful corrupt alliance, is crushing today's youth and destroying all things fun. It's a gruesome regime under the iron rule of Headmistress Helga, a vicious vamp whose obvious attractions are fatal. Suddenly, America's premier rock band, Aerosmith, is abducted by the Non-Forces. Now it's up to you to stop the destruction, and music is the weapon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Rage Software and Acclaim bring us a light gun shooter for the Super Nintendo, all about Aerosmith fighting the powers that be. It's kind of Terminator 2. It's Aerosmith. The arcade rail shooter originally had us using a mounted gun to control on-screen crosshairs, shooting the enemies with CDs. The members of Aerosmith are hidden through the game's locales and must be found to receive the game's true ending. It was, believe it or not, a critical and commercial success and was ported to various consoles like the Super Nintendo as well as DOS, and all the ports were negatively received and reportedly dissuaded Midway from making a sequel. Thank goodness, because yeah, I never played the pardon me, arcade version of this. I'm almost positive I've played at least the NES version once before, maybe the Genesis version. But it's also out for the PC, Saturn, and PlayStation, and it is bad. Let's see. Advertisements with the old Revolution X logo. You could showed up in Mortal Kombat 2, the arcade games. The game was originally here you go. Occasionally, after a large in-game explosion, Steven Tyler can be heard saying "Toasty" in a high-pitched voice in reference to the Mortal Kombat 2 Easter egg. The game was originally developed as a title based on the film Jurassic Park, but Sega acquired the rights instead and eventually released its own arcade game. So Midway's like, we lost the dinosaurs. Get us them rock and roll dinosaurs, Aerosmith. Yeah, the kids like them. They're in that asteroid movie. Because that's what Midway talks like. GamePro gave the arcade version a rave review. The home versions were thoroughly condemned. EGM praised the digitized voices and music of the SNES, with two of them going so far as to say they were the best they'd heard on any 16-bit console, but concluded it to be an inexcusably poor conversion. They particularly noted the absence of many of the graphical details, pardon me, and the awkward and sluggish movement of the controller cursor, GamePro's The Axe Grinder criticized the graphics and controls, remarking that moving your target sight is a breeze, but accurately pinpointing small targets is different. He disagreed with EGM on the audio, describing the music as dull and the sound effects as infrequent, and muted. And, pretty much everybody else felt the same about everything. Allgame gave the SNES a 3.5 out of 5, EGM gave it a 4.8 out of 10, IGN gave the PlayStation version a 1 out of 10. Next Gen gave every console version a 1 out of 5, PSM gave the PlayStation version a 2 out of 10, and Sega Saturn Magazine gave the Saturn version 44%. EGM's Sean Baby placed it as number 10 in his 20 worst games of all time feature. Yeah, this is bad. Number 1, why Aerosmith? Number 2, why this? Number 3, why this?